Welcome once again to another episode of the Random Access Podcast, brought to you by rapodcast.net. This is episode 838, recorded live on June 14th, 2025, and here are your hosts. The man who I seem to be in an on-again, off-again podcast relationship with at the moment, Dave Pillay.
Hi.
And the man who knows that we can just work it out, Andy Lowe. Hi.
So it's complicated on Facebook or something?
Well, we were on the podcast and then we were off, and now we're on, but then we're going to be off next week.
I mean, this is not the first time we've had that sort of sequence.
No, this summer is just so many things, but good things, not bad things, right?
Well, also bad things, but
yeah,
those aren't the things that are keeping us away from the podcast.
No, that's true.
There are many good things, vacations and the like. Like last week, my sister-in-law was in town. That's why I didn't record.
Yep, and next week I'm going to be hanging out with Kat in Pittsburgh.
Woo!
So
have fun.
Yep, it's going to be the first long road trip test of the new Outback.
Nice.
So we'll see how it goes, because it's got like lane assist and adaptive cruise control.
So it's basically hands off?
It's pretty much hands off, except for you have to have your hand on the wheel.
Yep.
Otherwise it will yell at you, and it's just like, dude.
But like, I'm not driving.
Yeah. No, we're on a closed highway.
Yep.
I have the cruise control set. You can see if there's a car in front of you. You can tell where the lanes are. You can take the turns. I'm here just to make sure you do anything stupid. That is my job as the driver now, to make sure you don't.
That sounds far too much like how I've been coding lately. Like, yeah, go for it. Start writing code. I'm just here to make sure that you're not, like, fucking up.
But no, it should be good. It's going to be a good 6-hour drive there. Hold on, let me move my microphone here for a second. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's a 6-hour drive there, but I've planned 2 stops just because with the kids.
Yeah.
6 hours in the car is just going to be too long in one go. So stopping at a McDonald's with a play place for lunch. Then I found this random park in Ohio that's got quite a playground structure set up, and it's next to a Costco.
So one of you can stay with the kids, the other run into Costco, get like pizza and hot dogs and stuff.
Yep, or get gas, get some Costco ice cream. Mm-hmm. They have a new smoothie out.
Costco does?
Yes, it's like a strawberry lemonade smoothie.
What?
Yeah. Welcome to Random Access Podcast, your source for all things odd food related.
New frozen strawberry lemonade at the Costco food court.
Yes. You're not going to want to use a straw because they actually have actual chunks of strawberry in it.
Nice. Oh, well, like define actual chunks of strawberry.
It looks like they took one of the strawberries out of the produce
strawberry
section.
Sundae one.
No, it's
you
like,
think so? You don't think it's just the same strawberry stuff they use for the sundaes?
I don't. It looked, when I had dumped it into the sink here, there was like legit strawberry pieces.
Okay.
Speaking of odd food, the last can of Red Bull is here, and I need it.
My God, this has been an ongoing thing for like half a year at least.
Just so you know, I do have 2 other flavors of Mountain Dew, 4 flavors of Faygo.
Well, why didn't I get to pick from them?
What, the other 2 flavors of Mountain Dew?
And the Faygo.
Well, because I'm doing this a chunk at a time.
No. You should always be adding to the same pool. It's like the random topic.
Well, I got both of these over the last week, so these were not here the previous week. I literally just got both of these this week because I was...
Sounds like a convenient excuse.
No, because I picked them up. I picked them up the other day because one of them is the Mountain Dew Dragon Fruit, which is only at Walmart. So I swung by Walmart on my way to Meijer to grab the other new Mountain Dew because that was at Meijer and not at Walmart. And then I was out with Megan. What was I doing with Megan? Why were we at the grocery store? Oh, yeah, we needed milk. So I took her to the grocery store with me. We passed by this like just pallet full of all these Faygo flavors I've never tried before. So we grabbed one of each of those. So those are all new. So this is the bookend for the Red Bull. And then, yes, then we can jump into all of those. But yes, the last mystery flavor of Red Bull, it is the red edition. Do you want to take a guess what the flavor is?
Crap. Disgusting crap.
Oh.
Because it's Red Bull. So maybe like a strawberry crap?
I was drinking when you said crap, and it started to go up my nose, and that was painful. It is watermelon.
Watermelon crap.
No, it's a mild watermelon flavor. Trying to see if this is artificial watermelon. I was like, it doesn't taste natural, but it tastes like a watermelon Jolly Rancher, like dissolved in a Red Bull. So
that does not sound pleasant. Like watermelon Jolly Rancher I can get behind, which by the way I think I need to still review that soda. No, I did review that soda, didn't I? Well, we were on here. I don't know. There's a watermelon Spreckers.
I don't think we have, because I think I would have remembered
tastes
that.
Very much like a watermelon Jolly Rancher.
Well, all of our topics and everything are on this Google Sheets. No entries matching watermelon. So that would be a no bueno since, oh my gosh, we've really done that many episodes on YouTube?
Yep.
Wow. Felt like only yesterday. So how was your week, Dave?
How was my week? It was interesting. I spent the first half of it in northwestern Illinois. I was on a work trip. I went to Dixon, Illinois.
I was like, there's not a lot in northwestern Illinois.
The home of Ronald Reagan is in northwestern Illinois.
Oh.
Because that's Dixon. It's their big claim to fame that Abraham Lincoln was there a few times and Ronald Reagan was born there. That's it. It was all right. It was fine. The hotel was on Bloody Gulch Road, which was a little interesting. And then after the work trip, after I got back, I had my allergist appointment because my allergies have been bad, like real bad. And so I kind of wanted to know what I was actually allergic to.
So you became a human pincushion?
Sort of. Apparently the allergy test has come a long way since then.
What? Because when I got it done,
yeah,
I was on my belly. They put like a whole grid on my back, and then they just repeatedly in each little spot poked me with a separate needle. And then they did it also on my arm.
Yeah.
Because I guess my back wasn't big enough. And I had to lay there, and my mom came up and looked at me and just went, ooh. Which I'm lying
Thanks,
there.
Mom.
I'm lying there and I can't move. And when your parent just looks at you and goes, ooh, I'm just like, oh God. What's going on back there? I can't, because you can't look at your own back.
So I had 18 individual tests. They are done in 3 sets. Each set is actually, was it 18? Hang on, let me count. 24 individual tests.
Do I hear a 32? 32 individual tests?
Just 24. It's a little set of 8. And they pulled it out in this little tray. And it was just these like 6 little plastic, not needles, just little plastic like columns with teeth at the end. And what they've realized is you don't actually have to inject this into the skin.
Oh,
you just have to irritate the skin with this stuff on top of it.
Oh my God. You lucky bastard.
Yep. So they did that. And they were very clear, like, this one's going to be pure histamine, which is your body's, like, chemical that is allergy. Mm-hmm. And so, like, we'll be able to gauge how allergic you are relative to that control. And then this one is just salt water, so that we know that if it swells up, we shouldn't really count anything.
Yep.
I am allergic to hickory pollen. I am slightly allergic to dog. I'm rather allergic to mugwort and ragweed, and I am severely allergic to 2 types of dust mites.
Hey, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to dust and dust
and
mites.
Dust mites. Yeah, yes. I know you are. So is Lazarus. So this was Thursday afternoon. The histamine one is still kind of like discolored. The two dust mites ones are like still swollen.
Oh yeah, no, that's
and itching.
Yep.
This was supposed to all fade within a couple hours. It has been 3 days. It still itches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was one time where I was moving the rug out of I think it was my room at my parents' house, but this was like college. I was moving the rug out, so nobody had been in that room for a couple of years, and I had accidentally like scratched my arm on something, and then I take this rolled up rug and basically place it right on that scratch, and my arm swelled up so much from that.
Yep.
And
so that should have been your hint that you don't need to get stuck with needles.
No, because I knew about the dust and dust mites thing. That was back in elementary, middle school. So it was one of those things where it's like, yep, that's a dusty carpet, and I just gave myself an allergy test.
Yep.
And the entire time going like, I'm just going to sit here, and if I start to feel anything, I will. I had my cell phone in my hand, just like,
oh God.
Just waiting.
Just hanging out.
Yep.
They did not see anything that would be like, yeah, you need to have an EpiPen. No food allergies, just environmental dust and dust mite, hickory, ragweed. Now, the fun thing about all that is hickory is in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
Ragweed and mugwort are in the fall. Dust mites are all year.
Yep.
But are most active in the summer when it's hot and humid. So I have a spring allergy, a summer allergy, and a fall allergy. And then in the winter, I'm stuck inside the house with the dust mites.
And the dog.
Because I am mildly allergic to dog. That was great, cool. Not allergic to cat.
Well, that's good.
So I could go hang out with you guys.
We don't have a cat.
This next weekend.
Oh.
In Pittsburgh. Get it?
Yes, no, it took me a second.
Get it? Because I'm not allergic to cat.
Yeah.
And that's who you're going to go hang out with.
Hang out with cat, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm still... This week was my first week of 410s.
Oh, no.
So I started...
How was your week, Andy?
Well, it actually wasn't that bad because I work from home. Mm-hmm. So I literally rolled out of bed at 6:45, grabbed my coffee, and sat down in my basement at 7, and I was at work. But then, plus, if nothing was going on, helped get the kids up, get them out to their daycare. But just it has not been good sleeping. And because, of course, on the weekend when Isaac doesn't have to wake up at 7:30, he does. Even though the entire week when I wanted him to get up at 7:30, he didn't.
Of course not. So. Why would he?
I don't know. And then it was Father's Day weekend this weekend.
Yes, tomorrow's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. It's midnight there.
Yes, it is. Hey, look at that. So I got, because we always do like a Father's Day meal.
Uh-huh.
I went and got myself a Hawaiian pizza because nobody else in the house likes Hawaiian pizza.
They are wrong.
I know. That's why I ate half of a large Hawaiian pizza by myself today.
Okay. So you're tired.
Yes. And
you binged.
Yes.
On Hawaiian pizza.
Yes.
Which is not an oxymoron, but it feels like it's a there's something wrong with saying it. I don't mind Hawaiian pizza as a concept. I'm still like, is it pizza? Kinda? Yeah, it's a pizza. It's a pizza. That's fine.
How are you debating if Hawaiian pizza is a pizza?
I don't know, because I really appreciate Gordon Ramsay, and he is a firm opponent of Hawaiian pizza.
There is only one pizza out there that I say is not a pizza. And what
is that?
That was that vegan pizza I had down in Indianapolis. That thing was an abomination. I used to say there is no pizza that I don't like. Now
there's no such thing as bad pizza.
Yes, there's no such thing as bad pizza. Now there is one I have one example of bad pizza.
I have found it.
I didn't want to find it, but I found it. It found me.
It found you.
I said no.
No such thing as bad pizza.
Yes, but there's a pack of donuts for tomorrow morning for breakfast. I'm gonna try out this.
I want a pack of donuts. What do I have to do to get a pack of donuts for breakfast?
Let me just say,
hang on. Never mind. I have 5 left, 4 or 5 slices of the Daqua au Cafe from work. So I'm good. You can keep your donut.
Well,
I will have an almond meringue with coffee buttercream.
That would actually be pretty nice.
Is very nice.
Out of this big box of donuts, there is one for me because we always let the kids have more than one to fill out the half dozen, whatever it is there. So I think the kids are more excited for that. They also got me balloons for my birthday, but I have no idea where any of them are because...
wait, isn't your birthday in July?
No, they got me balloons for Father's Day.
Okay, I'm like, wait a minute.
Sorry. No, this is the kickoff to all of the holiday spectacular.
Yeah.
That is, July.
Yeah.
I don't know where either of the balloons are because the kids took them and then started playing with them. And it's like, oh, you're playing with the balloons that you got for me.
With my balloons.
Yes. With my balloons. You're playing with them. Where did they go? I don't know.
Oh, they're around somewhere. Yeah. Well, it sounds like we both had quite the week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should we do topics?
Sure.
Well, update on something we've talked about before with SAG-AFTRA.
This is the video game strike.
Yes, this is the SAG-AFTRA strike against the video games, which started end of July 2024. So it's almost been a year.
And this was, please don't use AI in games, and also hire union work for games,
and
also pay them union rates.
Yes.
And
so they've been striking
agreement.
Tentative agreement. It's going to go to the members of SAG-AFTRA to vote on for approval. But there's some pay increases. There will be some AI guardrails to be implemented.
Informed consent and ability for performers to suspend informed consent for using digital replica. Excuse me.
Employers can no longer request performers to complete stunts or other dangerous activities in virtual auditions. What were they doing?
So, cool. Can you do a backflip for me?
I'm in my living room.
Yeah, just go ahead. Just do a backflip. Look, do you want the part? The thing is, with all the motion cap stuff, more and more the voice actors for the characters are the characters and are the actors. There's really not a significant difference between the person who did Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn from Andy Serkis doing Gollum.
So we'll see how how it comes out there, but I have a feeling this will hopefully be approved. God, it's been striking for 11 months. Jeez.
Yeah.
Have you gotten your Switch 2 yet or no?
I have not. I'm going to be waiting.
Okay, because there's been a lot of them sold.
How many have been sold?
In the first 4 days. 4 days.
Yeah.
3.5 million units sold.
That's a lot of Switches. I'm waiting to see what the issues are from a day one console launch. How long do you give the Joy-Cons before they start drifting?
Ooh, that is an excellent question.
Did you see, I think it was a GameStop, was stapling the receipts to the boxes?
What?
Which is kind of a standard thing, right? Here's the box, here's the receipt. Hey, let me put the receipt on the box, I'll staple it. There you go. Now you have your receipt. Unfortunately, Nintendo made the brilliant idea of putting the Switch at the edge of the box.
Oh, no.
With the screen facing out.
Out? Oh, no.
So these people got home, opened the box, and there was a staple in the screen.
Oh, no.
Oops.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I might wait for Christmas? Like Black Friday? See if there's any good sales or bundles?
Well, recent reports suggest
there isn't a must-have game right now for me.
You're not gaga over Mario Kart like everybody else is.
No, Mario Kart World.
I did break out the Mario Kart Wii on the.
Ooh.
We were playing.
I think we talked about that last week or 2 weeks ago. Whenever.
Where Isaac liked it a lot better once he realized he didn't have to turn the whole Wiimote.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, you can just use it like a regular controller.
Yeah, but it's more fun if you turn the whole Wiimote, like a race car wheel.
Not free. He already does that more than he needs to. It's hilarious looking at him because, the kids with the Wiimotes are like standing up and they're doing all these big, huge movements. And then I'm sitting on the couch and like I just have that little wrist twitch.
Yeah.
Because I realized that's
all you need.
That's all I need. I don't need to waver my arms around like one of those inflatables at a car dealership.
Yep.
I just, I'm sitting there just doing little tiny movements and it's working fine. And it's just like, is he watching what I'm doing? No. But yeah, so they're predicting there's going to be, the original Switch sold 2.7 million within the first month of release. So there's your comparison.
This sold well, but there were also some supply chain issues with the original Switch.
Yes, I remember that.
Shall we say, to put it nicely, like they did a good job this time of having enough for people.
Yep. So their Nintendo forecast sales of 15 million, and that looks to be pretty spot on because outside analysts say there's going to be probably 13 million sold by the end of the year.
That's a lot of hardware.
Yep. 13 million by the end of the year. So we shall see.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here just, trying to convince them to play Mario Party and Kirby Yarn. Which is
Kirby Yarn.
Yes, the Yarn game.
Kirby's Yarn World or whatever.
What is it called?
There's Yoshi's Woolly World.
Kirby Epic Yarn.
Epic Yarn.
Yes.
I think I watched a speed run of that.
Which now wants me to find other games like it.
Huh.
Because the kicker is you can't die.
1 sec.
Are you talking to Claude?
Yeah, I mean ChatGPT.
Yes, I've already done that.
Okay. Hey, look at that. Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yes.
Kid-friendly platformers. Piku Niku, Super Mario Wonder, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Snipper Clips. Ori and the Blind Forest. Oh God, no. Not for your 8-year-old. Nope.
Yeah, there's some where
these are harder and more emotional, but might appeal to older kids or with adult help. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's awesome that they're enjoying it. But yeah, finding other games like it is going to be a little difficult.
Mm-hmm. Because he tried doing Super Mario Galaxy, and that one, some of that was hard for me even.
Yeah, Galaxy's not an easy game.
No. Well, that was even brought out some of the because the Wii's got the older ones in there. Trying out some of the older Mario games, but even then, it's like no, Mario was not easy. Everybody thinks, no. Mario is the kids' game. It's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not. It was not a kids' game. No, it was just a game that was bundled on a kid's console.
Yeah, like some of those later levels of Mario, you're just like, oh my gosh, this makes me want to throw things. And
I got a text from a friend. This is tangential. This is related. This is not like but we're talking about old games. We're talking about games and games for kids. I just sent you the picture that I got in the text. And the caption for the picture was "Name this tune."
Hold on, let me zoom in. That is... No, it's not Harvest Moon. Oh, what is that?
The answer is do 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 do. Because that's the tune. That's the theme of the game.
What's the name? What's the name?
That is Secret of Mana. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
All right, now hold on. Okay, that one.
Yep. We have Final Fantasy at home.
Yes.
which is just amusing to me.
We've marketed as part of the Mana series rather than the Final Fantasy series.
Yeah. Also in the Mana series, is Terranigma technically in the Mana series?
You would know more about JRPGs than me.
Okay. Terranigma was a fantastic game. I might need to go back and replay it. It was fucking hard, but it was a good game.
Oh, what was the other?
I think I won it because I just grinded a ton at the beginning. Excuse me. Okay. Where were we? Switch 2 sales.
Yes, they're launching like a rocket, and it's going to be a lot of them.
Yeah, and it's going to keep going.
Yep. Let's see what else we got here. I'll just go down the list here. Disney and Universal
are suing
Midjourney for copyright infringement.
Disney is suing for copyright infringement.
Yes.
And the grass outside is green. Sure. What are they? I mean, I presume they're suing because Midjourney trained on their stuff.
Examples of instances of an infringement, including an image of Marvel's Deadpool and Wolverine, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Hulk, and more. All of the, Disney and Universal characters are all showing up.
Yeah.
In, AI generated images.
Yeah.
Which, the defense that they're going with is that, I love this, by helping itself to plaintiffs' copyrighted works and then distributing images and soon videos that blatantly incorporate and copy Disney's and Universal's famous characters without investing a penny in their creation. Midjourney is the quintessential copyright free rider and a bottomless pit of plagiarism. Piracy is piracy, and whether an infringed image or video is made with an AI or another technology does not make it less infringing.
So here's my take on that. Disney shouldn't be going after every artist who says, yeah, I can draw Deadpool. I'm not going to sell it to you. I'm not going to profit from this, but I can certainly draw it. Would they go after that? That means all fan art should be gone.
Yes.
According to Disney.
Which, most people are thinking Midjourney is going to use the argument of you can't sue a paint company for somebody painting something you don't like.
That's a good defense, I think.
That's what most of the AI companies have been kind of talking about, is the fact that it's look, we're just a tool.
Well, except you can sue the gun companies for people that get shot with guns.
In some locations.
But
yes, no, they're talking about the fact that it's we're just a tool. You can't sue us. We are just a piece of equipment.
Man, we're just here. Yep. We're just here.
I think at one point somebody said you can't sue Microsoft for somebody using Word to type up some sort of libel.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so that's their.
Although the counter argument is, if I open up Microsoft and type the word it, and then it starts auto-completing was the best of times, then maybe there is something going on that they could sue for.
Yeah, no, I could see that. Little Clippy pops up. I see you're trying to plagiarize. Can I help you with that?
No, Clippy! Stay away! ChatGPT is just Clippy. If you pull someone, I'm sure someone has made this animation where it's a ChatGPT window and they pull the corner back and it's just Clippy behind it.
Well, this isn't on the list here, but I was actually reading an article about somebody stating that one of the problems with AI is that AI will tell you what you want to hear.
That is absolutely accurate.
It won't tell you.
Did we talk about GPT-4's sycophant phase?
Possibly.
Where there was a day where they had changed how GPT-4 was supposed to be and react. And it ended up saying oh my God, that's an amazing idea. I don't think anyone else has ever come up with such an astounding thing. And it was just so ridiculously positive to the point of where it was saying that's a great idea, to someone being I'm not happy. I think I might end my life.
Oh, jeez.
And just bad stuff. They rolled it back within a day. Within a day. They were like, nope, we screwed up.
The ability to manipulate ChatGPT to give you the answer that you want is just laughable sometimes.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see where this goes. This is Disney money going after.
But it's also AI money.
Yeah, it's going against AI money. So
and like the other AI companies aren't going to just sit there and be like, Midjourney goes down. Oh no. Like,
because
if Midjourney goes
precedent.
down, that's a precedent for the rest of them. They are all in deep shit.
Yes.
So I think they're going to be watching this and, filing friend of the court briefs. Oh, Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Apple. Welcome to like Windows NT?
Well, I love that one of the big like
ME, was it ME that opened up the glass, Aero glass?
I don't remember.
Which Windows introduced Aero? Vista.
Oh, that was Vista?
That was Vista introduced Windows Aero.
Oh, yep. There it is. Wow.
Which introduced things like transparent window borders. So, Worldwide Developer Conference.
Yep.
WWDC. Apple apparently caught up to Windows Vista and is trying to make it cool again.
I do have to say the one good point that they have, though, is the fact that they are renaming all of their software.
Damn it.
To
Why?
be the same number.
Okay.
So everything that is coming out next year is going to end with OS 26.
Because it'll be 2026.
It will be 2026, yes. So iOS iOS 26.
To be clear, that means that Apple does not care about 75 years from now? Do they think they won't be around in 75 years? Do they think they will just restart their numbers at some point?
Probably. I mean, they've already changed their numbering system just now.
Right, but they went from like sequential numbers, which makes sense, because you certainly could have iOS 110. It would be weird, but you could do it. And instead, they've jumped to iOS 26, named after the year.
Which part of me goes...
So what happens in 2100?
Well, with how much Apple bricks their older iPhones, I don't think your iPhone's going to be working in 100 years.
Andy, you are correct. I'm not saying that the phone that you have now in 75 years. I'm saying the phones that they're going to come out in 75 years that are running some form of Apple operating system. What will the name of that operating system be?
Oh, okay. So they wouldn't, maybe they call it 126?
In 75 years, is it going to be iOS 0?
No, it's going to be iOS 100.
And then after that?
101.
So do you think they'll just add 100?
Yes, that's what I think they will do.
Okay.
Should we put that on a bet?
Andy, I would. I don't think either of us will be here to collect.
Probably not.
So unless you can convince Kate and I can convince Laura that we should write that like into our wills, no, I don't think we should take that as a bet.
All right. The funny bit, though, is the fact that the iPhones will still retain the current numbering system.
Oh, God, why?
So, yes, so the operating system is switching to a year mode, but the iPhone
itself. So what number iPhone are we up to? Oh, 11, 14, 18?
Hold on. I literally have an iPhone sitting next to me.
Why do you have an iPhone?
Work. The state of Michigan gave me an iPhone because they give all...
not my tax dollars anymore, I guess.
Nope. They want it for secured blah, blah, blah. I have an iPhone 12. Oh, they're up to like 16.
Yeah.
Wow, they gave me an iPhone 12.
Andy.
All right.
They gave you an iPhone.
Yeah, no.
And in fact, is it the 12 that's like the super valuable one?
I don't know.
One of the older ones is super, super valuable in a very niche area. which is VTubers.
VTubers?
VTubers. Are you familiar with VTubers?
No.
VTubers are the virtual YouTubers. They are the people who have a generally 3D but sometimes 2D avatar.
I have seen these. Okay, I have seen some of these on a couple of Isaac's videos.
Yes. So they use like rudimentary motion capture to mimic their motion and face onto the avatar.
Yeah, okay.
And apparently an older version of the iPhone, when they introduced the like face emoji bullshit, had really good cameras for it.
Ah.
And so they use those, and a lot of them have been like stocking up on them so that when they break, they can continue to use them.
Okay. Looks like XR, the iPhone XR. I didn't know there was Roman numerals in the iPhones.
Well, that XR is not a Roman numeral.
Well, no, that's true, but there's an iPhone X.
That was the iPhone 10.
Oh, okay. So yes, iPhone 10 was when they started with that.
Okay.
But yeah, so there was a lot of software updates. There's a new games app, but the only games I have on here are Pokemon.
Do you use your state phone to play Pokemon Go?
Yes.
Is that the primary thing you use that phone for?
Well, no, because I work remote, and so this is my point of contact when I'm out and about. So,
yep.
You know, when I'm on call, this is the phone number that they will call.
So that they can reach you. Okay.
Yes.
I can understand that. That's fine.
Like you said, it's not your tax dollars anymore.
Yeah.
The latest name for the Mac OS is Tahoe.
Are they doing lakes now?
I thought it was always mountains, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, how far back do you want to go? Because at some point it was big cats.
You're right, it was cats, and then...
It was OS 10, like Jaguar and Leopard. And that was back when it was OS 10.
Okay. Yeah, cheetah, puma, jaguar, panther, tiger, leopard, snow leopard, lion, mountain lion, mavericks.
I think we used to make fun of that on this show. I'm pretty sure we made fun of that at some point.
Okay, Mavericks was the first OS release to be named after a location in California. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then Mavericks, and then you went to...
they're all like California locations.
Yeah,
then.
Yosemite.
Yosemite's not in California.
No, Yosemite? Yosemite would probably be better.
Except that if it looks like Yosemite, it's probably Yosemite.
Yeah. Oh, yes, it is Yosemite. Yosemite is named after the national park.
Okay.
Is
not
Yosemite?
In California, right?
No, there's a Yosemite National Park in California.
Yosemite.
I am so confused about where parks are.
Yosemite National Park is in California's Sierra Nevada mountains.
Really?
It is not Yosemite. That is Yosemite.
That is Yosemite. Okay.
Yeah, which makes Yosemite Sam much more... now that makes sense. I always thought it was further east, but apparently it's in California.
Yeah, I always thought it was up like...
Yellowstone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you and I both may have conflated Yellowstone and Yosemite.
Yep, no, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yep.
Okay, so Yellowstone and Yosemite are very different.
Yes.
There is quite a lot of desert between the two of them.
Yellowstone National Park is in Montana?
Montana and Wyoming and Idaho. It's a big blob up there.
Yeah. No, I don't want Yellowstone Lake State Park. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Yellowstone National. You know, the big ass volcano.
That will probably... Isn't it like behind on when it was supposed to erupt next?
The super volcano?
Yeah. I
don't think we know. I also don't think that, like, on a geological timescale, we can really even worry about it. I've been close to multiple state parks that I have not gone to. All right, so Apple's named it after places in California.
Okay, yeah. So Maverick, Yosemite, El Capitan, Sierra, High Sierra, Mojave, Catalina, Big Sur. You see this, like, these are all mountains, right?
Not all of them. Mojave is not a mountain, Andy.
No, you're right. That is a very big desert.
That very big, very flat desert.
That was that desert that I was talking about between Yosemite.
No, it is not.
It's not? I thought it went up that high into Nevada. Doesn't it?
The Mojave is the southern tip of Nevada. It's near Vegas.
Well, what desert is up in Utah? No, I don't want the volcano in the Mojave Desert. I just want the Mojave Desert.
Mojave Desert boundaries.
You're right. That is just in the south part.
That is absolutely just in the south part of California. It does reach up into Utah. A little teeny tiny corner.
What desert
little
is in
teeny
Utah,
tiny
then?
corner. Hits the teeny tiny corner of Utah. In this episode,
Andy
Dave
and Dave
Andy realize they don't know any geography.
Which reminds me, I gotta watch the American finals of GeoGuessr, because supposedly it was like the best face-off of GeoGuessr that anybody has ever seen.
That's such a weird sentence.
Yeah, I know the finals last year were crazy, but I guess like the America finals this year are even crazier. Oh, it's the Great Salt Lake Desert in Utah.
Which makes sense.
Yes.
Given the Great Salt Lake and Salt Lake City.
Yep. That's where the Bonneville Salt Flats are, which I think people still go out there for land speed tests. Yep.
Oh, you are asking the wrong guy. All I know is that area of the world is not very livable.
No.
Where were the nuclear tests? That was all in Nevada, right?
Yes. Where is Trinity?
Trinity is Los Alamos. That's in New Mexico.
Oh.
Not Nevada.
Well, that Trinity is where the first nuclear test was done.
Oh, really? Was it, Andy?
Yes, it was. Yes, I saw Oppenheimer. I know.
Was there a nuclear test at Trinity? Perhaps the Trinity nuclear test? Are you going to tell me that Bikini Atoll is where they did other nuclear testing?
Right, so Mac announced a bunch of things.
I want to know where they did the, huge series of nuclear tests. Not the one big one. There's a bunch of other ones. You can see it from Google Maps if I can find where it was. Where's the Hoover Dam? Because there's Vegas. If you go out of Vegas, I will find this. I will find this nuclear testing range. It was insanely easy to spot. Where the hell did it go?
The Nevada test site? Nevada National Security Site.
Yeah, probably.
Located in Nye County, Nevada.
Yeah, there it is. All right, I will send you some coordinates. And then just, look at that map.
Oh, yeah. No, it looks like somebody just pot-marked the...
It's just, why are there all these circles in the ground? The Sedan Crater. What is important about the Sedan Crater?
Comment, update from customer of the Sedan Crater. It's cool.
Yeah. So if you want to go see where a bunch of nuclear bombs went off. Oh, God. Yeah, if you go a little further south, that's even, crazier. Someone put a restaurant
the
out
Sedan
there.
Crater is the largest human-made crater in the United States.
Okay.
Was created on July 6th, 1962, when they tried to think about using nuclear weapons for mining.
Nothing bad can happen with that.
Yeah, the radioactive fallout from the test contaminated more U.S. residents than any other nuclear test.
Maybe we don't use nukes to mine. But also, zoom out just a little bit and look at how close that is to Vegas.
Oh, there's Vegas right there.
Yeah, you don't need to actually go very far to find Vegas.
Nope.
It's really close. Where's the dam?
The dam is not in Vegas.
The dam is right outside Vegas.
Oh, it's at the
Lake Mead.
Yeah.
It's the southwestern tip of Lake Mead.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep, there's the Hoover Dam.
Yep, I got to drive on that.
Nice.
You're not able to do that anymore.
I got to jump off of it? Isn't that how GoldenEye starts?
That's not... Is that the Hoover Dam that they jump off of, or which dam?
What dam is at the start of GoldenEye? That's the Contra Dam. Is in the Veraska Valley near Locarno. Okay, so it's not the Hoover Dam. It's in Switzerland.
I was going to say, why would they come here to film? There's lots of dams in Europe.
Yeah, but like the Hoover Dam is really impressive. I mean, let's be clear. Like the Hoover Dam is actually really freaking impressive.
Oh my gosh! Look south of Henderson at the massive solar farm. Out in the middle of the desert.
Which one, Andy?
Yes, I know. There's a lot of them down here. Dang.
Like. Zoom out. Are you talking about the one next to I-95 or the one next to I-15?
Or the one farther down I-95.
Or not I-95, but yeah.
Yeah.
One further down 95. I'm going pretty far down 95.
Oh, well.
Oh, you mean those two that were up at the top?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, yeah, but like if you want to talk about that, then we got to go look at where's the solar tower?
The one that's not in use anymore because it was a dumb idea?
Yeah. Where was that? The Ivanpah Solar Generating Station. So that cluster of solar panels on I-15.
Yes.
Just outside of Prim, in fact.
Yes.
If you look to the left of those, there are the 3 solar towers.
Oh, there they are.
And all of their mirrors.
Yep.
That's so many mirrors. That's so many mirrors. Yep. I don't know if it was a dumb idea.
You know what's a dumm idea?
If you need to
having
get
a
something
golf course in the middle of the desert right next to it.
Yeah, right. If you need to get something really, really hot, like that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Why is there a golf course right next to that?
Yeah, why is there a golf course right next to that in the middle of the desert in Nevada?
We are so far down a rabbit hole. What are we talking about, Andy?
Well, let's go to another...
Are there other topics that you want to talk about? Because I think we're probably close to the end.
Space news. Let's do some space
news.
First off...
Rocket go boom.
Yeah. The FAA has closed the probe of Flight 8, so there's no more investigation in Flight 8. The Flight 9 investigation is still ongoing. And, of course, SpaceX is already working on prepping Flight 10. They've done the static fires and the cryo tests and everything. So Flight 10 is happening even before they figured out what went wrong with Flight 9. Other news out of SpaceX is that they have been...
I heard they were going to take apart the Dragon capsules.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Musk said something about that.
Yes, and then he said, no, we're not. Well, somebody else at SpaceX said, no, we're not. But SpaceX did get a report from the Air Force saying that they want to, because the Delta 4 rockets have stopped launching, and so ULA has a launch pad at Cape Canaveral that isn't doing anything because it was built for the Delta 4 heavy rockets. So SpaceX said, "Hey, can we have that launch pad? Nobody seems to be using it right now."
And they said,
well, the environmental impact statement released this week by the Air Force concludes that SpaceX's plan to use the launch complex will have no significant negative impacts on the environment, historical, social, and cultural interests because it's a launch pad. It's already, right. I mean, all that's already been taken care of.
Cool.
So, yes, the ULA has gotten out of their lease of the land, and now SpaceX is going to pick it up. And this is basically where they're looking at building some Starship launch towers. 2 Starship launch towers there.
They have to finish the friggin' ship first.
Yes.
Since they seem to be having an issue with that.
Yes. But they're already gotten the go-ahead for limited entry to begin preparations to convert it to a Starship launch pad, which basically means tearing down everything that ULA built.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we don't need any of this.
Like, we don't want your fucking tower. We need to build our own with chopsticks.
Yes. And we're going to build 2 of them because why not? It's a government contract.
Yeah, we're getting money. It's free money.
That was from Contact, right?
Where they built 2?
I think so, yeah, where the guy was like, it's government money, so why not build 2?
I think there was a, like, why build one of them when you could build 2?
Yeah, something along those lines.
Some line like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'd read the book, but it turns out the book is completely different than the movie.
Completely different?
It's there. Well, there's a lot of different
differences between book and movie. Contact. Rare case of the movie being better than the book.
So yes, Cape Canaveral getting Starship.
Yeah.
New Glenn supposedly was supposed to be launching again in late spring. But the current chief executive of Blue Origin has now said that they're shooting for at least August 15th for the second New Glenn launch.
That's only 2 months away.
Yes.
That's not very far away.
Which a lot of people unofficially are saying that it's not going to happen, but he kind of had to say something because Jeff Bezos wanted him to say something. Mm-hmm. Because Jeff Bezos, last year said that they were hoping to launch New Glenn 8 times this year.
They have launched
once.
Twice? Once. Just once? I thought
just once.
Oh my God.
They debuted it mostly successfully in January.
Okay. And have not managed to launch since.
Nope.
And they want 8 launches this year.
Well, yes, they wanted 8 launches.
Jeff wants 8 launches.
Yes, Jeff Bezos said he wanted 8 launches this year. And so now the the CEO of Blue Origin is kind of going, how about August 15th? And everybody else. It's one of those things where it's like, the engineers probably like in the press conference.
Wait, what?
Press conference behind him.
Yeah.
Face palming.
Yeah. I want to see video of the engineers' reactions to that. I want to see the, what? What? Why? No. What? Why? Oh.
So, yeah, Bezos, I guess, is not happy that his rockets haven't been going up because we're in a billionaire pissing contest with rockets now, it seems.
Yep.
Did not have that one on my bingo card. Yeah, he needs publicity.
Hate it.
So that's going on. And Canada is now actually looking at investing into their own domestic launch capability.
Gee, I wonder why they would think that they would need to do such a thing.
Yep.
I can't imagine why Canada might assume that their longtime ally, the United States, would renege on some agreements or restrict access to space.
Well, Canada is the only G7 country without domestic satellite launching capabilities, which would, up to this point,
hasn't been a problem.
No, it hasn't been a problem. They come to us, they go, "Hey, can we launch a satellite?" And we go,
we're like, "Yeah, sure. Here.
Take your pick of all these launch pads that we have down in Florida. Which one do you want to launch?
Which one do you need?
Or do you want to launch from California?"
We can launch from Texas. We have places in Texas. I'm sure we can talk to Elon.
Yes. There's lots of places you could launch from, but Canada now is going,
On second thought.
So yes, they are investing in a Montreal company that is developing their own launching system.
Yeah.
Which, yep. I saw that and I was like, really? They don't have their own launching capabilities? I'm like, why would they need it?
They wouldn't need it.
Until now.
Yep. So, because we're talking about this, I just zoomed in on Starbase. That tower is fucking huge.
Yep.
That is a really big launch tower.
Yep.
And a really big launch platform.
Yep.
Jesus. Okay. What else do we want to talk about?
God, man, that is huge.
Right?
Well, Well, last bit of, let's just hit some good news at the end.
Sure.
There is a group now that is trying to take the blank screens, basically you get for like if you're watching a sporting event on a streaming app. And there, there's not commercials sold. It pops up a little screen and says like, commercial break in progress. We'll come back.
Yeah.
There's a group now that is trying to basically get them to either, get ads sold or donated to nonprofits for
interesting
those
that time range
for those times where there isn't any ads sold.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, that works.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's give that to the nonprofits and let them just use that.
Yes. And then there is a group in Italy that is working on cyber tires.
The fuck are cyber tires?
Basically tires with sensors in them to monitor temperature and pressure and basically also monitor the road.
Do the tires have that?
Yes, the tires.
Or do the wheels have that?
Well, it probably would have to. Let's see. They say a sensor-equipped tire.
But do they mean a sensor-equipped wheel?
Well, it's also Pirelli, so I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
Pirelli is a major tire company.
Okay. Cool. Smart tires. Can't wait.
Pirelli was told... Oh... It looks like it might be the electronics are able to withstand more than 3,500 Gs as part of life on the road, and a 10-gram battery keeps everything running for the life of the tire. So it looks like this is actually built into the rubber.
That's very weird and cannot be good for the longevity of the tire or the earth.
I don't know, but being able to have the tire, that'd be great if you could, the tire would tell where the potholes are, and then that could...
I don't need the tire to tell me that.
Well, no,
the car can tell me that.
Yeah.
The car is going to be really good at telling me that.
As it goes.
Why are you trying to put that into the tire?
Because you can put tires on all the cars. It's my guess. I don't know.
Andy, my phone can tell you where the potholes are. It would not take much to build an app that watches for a certain pattern of vibration and kathunk. Right? It's a pretty noticeable, distinctive kathunk that it could log and deploy. The issue is not the technology. We've had that technology. That's not the problem. The problem is there's no one to send it to.
Yes, that's the thing there. We have to have some sort of vehicle to system and vehicle to vehicle communication.
Not even vehicle to vehicle. Again, my phone can do this. We've been able to do this for 15 years, easily. That's not the issue. The issue is there's no state agency that is receiving this that I can submit the data to say, hey, here's the potholes.
Well, fine then. Just rain on my parade.
I will, because this is dumb. Besides, it means you and the president have something in common. Your parade got rained on.
Oh.
Ayo.
No, my favorite thing there was watching the soldiers marching down to CCR's Favor Son song, which is an anti-Vietnam War song. Which
that's I ain't no senator's son.
Yeah, watching the army walk down the parade path to that song, you're like, wait, do they know?
Do you guys get? Do you get the irony? Do you understand what's going on?
Like, who is in charge of the playlist here?
Someone with a sense of humor.
Hopefully.
That may have been someone's little protest.
Hopefully. That would be kind of funny. All right. Should we hit the randoms?
Let's hit the randoms.
Okay. It is your random review.
I am going to review more of a concept than a specific product. Because this is one of those, if you go to Amazon and you look, there's a billion that are all exactly identical, which is a handheld bidet sprayer. So this is a small faucet device that sits between the input line of your toilet. Very important. It is the input line of your toilet.
I don't know how you'd be able to stick this into the output.
You would not. You would not be able to.
No,
that's not how toilets work.
Not how indoor plumbing works.
Right. But you do take this. You take the flex hose that currently connects your toilet to the wall. You take it out. You put this between the end of the flex hose and the toilet. And then this has its own flex hose. and then it's got its own little faucet. I never liked the idea of a bidet because like cold water on my bum doesn't sound great. But now that I've been using this, yes. I wish the hose were longer because I want to also be able to use it for like the shower for certain things, to like clean the shower or clean the sink. Like it's really nice to have a adjustable pressure, flexible spray in the bathroom.
Well, if we wanted that in the shower, we've got one that's got a shower with the handheld wand thing.
Yeah. Like I know you can do that with like a shower head, and I have shower heads on that. But like I don't want it to come out of the shower. I want more flexibility than that.
Yeah.
Even just using this to clean not just me, but the toilet is really nice because this is adjustable pressure. And if you turn it all the way up, it is uncomfortable as a human.
Yes, no, because there's no pressure valve.
Right, but it is really good for like, I'm going to wash the toilet now.
Yeah, part of me, there probably are some that have a tap in, because you normally would have a sink next to the toilet, so you could tap into
the hot water
on your bathroom sink.
Yeah, but then you'd need like 2 lines coming in, and you'd need to adjust the temperature, and then you'd need to like run it for 30 seconds before the water in the line was flushed out.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. Honestly, not nearly as bad as I expected it to be. The water is effectively like room temperature.
Well, yeah, because the cold line is the exact same thing as the hot line. In order to get the really cold water, you have to run the cold line.
Right.
Because everything that's currently in the pipe is just sitting at room temperature.
Right. Installation, a couple minutes.
Yeah, no, this would be even easier to install than my water filter that I installed in the kitchen sink.
Yep, everything is in the box. Like, I didn't even need other tools.
No, because you just turn off the valve, install the T.
Yep.
And then you install the flex hose.
If you want to mount the holder in the wall, you need tools.
Yeah.
But that's it. So I now have one of these in all 3 of my bathrooms.
No, it makes sense.
I highly recommend.
And this one is what, only 18? No, 22.
Yep.
Like a $22 one. So
yeah, but like go grab any of the other ones that are identical.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
I don't know even what to ask.
But how does it feel on your bum?
Well, it feels like it would just be with an adjustable nozzle. It can be.
It feels however you want it to feel.
Yeah, the water's going to be room temperature and then cold. So don't dawdle.
But like even when it like I've had occasion to run it for a long time, and it still wasn't like cold.
Okay, because I know if I put my shower on cold.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference is. This doesn't get that cold.
Okay. Comes in.
Highly recommend.
Different things. All right. Well, for $20, I could try it out and not be sad.
Yeah.
It'd be a whole lot easier to install this than installing the light went out on our microwave double wall oven combo thing. And I had to remove it from the wall in order to replace the light in the microwave. That was not fun. This would be much easier than that.
Yes.
All right. Random topic. Rolled ahead of time. What toy Andy's kids cannot resist fighting over? Right now, there is a giant stuffed duck that seems to be the one stuffed animal of most contention between the two of them. I was taking Megan shopping for something, and I forgot what I think I went on our quote-unquote adventure in the wrong order, and so she was completely just melting down in mire in the shopping cart. So I went over to the Easter items because they were on clearance, and I was trying to distract her with that, and then she saw all the Easter stuffies, and she was like, I want, and I'm just like, well, let me see. And I scan it, and it's on clearance, so it was pretty cheap.
Nice and cheap.
Yes. And so, yeah, she grabbed a duck that was almost the same size that she was.
I want. You give.
Yes. It was the $7. I was willing to sacrifice the $7 so she would actually calm down. And I could do the rest of the Meijer shopping in peace. And she's just sitting there with the duck, and she's, just quack, 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 quack. So yeah, we brought that home, and then Isaac saw it, and Isaac tries playing with Quacky, and then she tries playing with Quacky, and they're trying to play with Quacky together, and it's just...
It does not go well.
No, so that is the current one, and Isaac now has a 21-inch dinosaur that he's going to get for his birthday. Mm-hmm. So now he, too, can have an extremely large stuffed animal. So,
I mean, I have a 4.5-foot koala in the other room, so I guess I can't complain. Something glass houses.
Well, we've got a couple of Squishable pillows that are also pretty large, but they're like Squishable pillows, so it's not really. But yes, no. The thing they are currently fighting over is this stuffed duck. So, I'm trying to think if there was anything growing up that I always fought with my siblings over. I can't think of anything. No, I didn't expect you to be that close to me. Sorry. Kate's right next to me reading the possible random topic list.
Got some doozies coming, Dave.
I'm aware.
Yeah, I'm aware. Dave sees the list.
Well, I don't know what he checks.
I mean, she's not wrong.
I know she's not wrong. But I'm not going to say that out loud.
Thank you for saying the quiet part out loud. Anyway, I don't have anything to comment on for this random topic. It was a question about Andy's kids. Apparently there's a duck.
Yeah.
Quacky.
It might be coming up to Manistee, I'm guessing. It would be one of the ones.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
you might be introduced to Quacky.
Okay.
So, well, on that note, I'm just going to call it this is wrap.
Yeah.
This has been another episode of the Random Access Podcast. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, corrections, suggestions, remarks, reviews, rebukes, retorts, or just rants, feel free to contact us. You can find us on Twitter at RAPodcast, or send us an email at mail@rapodcast.net. Thank you for listening.